Hey folks, my name's Kevin and it's time for a little bit more knife nerdery. So, I did a thing. It took exactly one day of playing with Kevin, aka Lefty EDC's Trevor Burger LEXK before I bought my own. If you know what these are, you'll know that's kind of a really big deal. These things are really expensive, but I've been looking for a really long time. I always just assumed I would like them, and finally getting one in hand and just feeling how amazing they are meant I kind of just knew I needed one. These things are just so freaking cool. So thank you again to Kevin for loaning this to me to check out, and double thank you to Kevin because he's actually the one that linked me to the guy who was selling the version I bought at what is a pretty good price. Now, it's still a very expensive knife, but less expensive than a very expensive knife. So let's open that up and see what it's like. I'm kind of nervous, and it's not on the table right now because it's a really big box. So one of the things that was nice is the guy I bought it from, mailed this separately, got this little hard pack thing to keep this secure. You'll notice in the unboxing video I had from Kevin's, he either didn't do this or somewhere along the line it didn't happen, but his COA, or actually COO, is all like crumpled up inside here. But so this is the version that I got. Let's compare that to the version that is over here. So Kevin's is an LEXK CFL in LMAX. Same. So what's actually different about these? The big difference is going to be the handle material and the thing I'm really excited about, the blade shape. Let's keep looking to get this finally open. Ooh. Oh. Okay, yeah. So I didn't even realize that this was red marble fiber, carbon fiber fat. This is fat carbon, and I didn't realize it was red because in the pictures, it wasn't even super obvious. And I love this in part because I also have red fat carbon here on my Herman Vespertilio. So these can be like little buddies together. The next thing that's different. So these both should look basically identical on this side, and they do. Interestingly, this is at a totally different angle. Huh. Yeah, that's at a totally different angle. That's really interesting. You can see how in the way it's attached that it's not going to have much opportunity for room. Like there's like, I believe, a little channel. I just realized I was off camera. It looks like there's a little indentation right there that this fits into. And so I'm surprised that they're so different. Neither of them looks like they're out of place. So did he change this? Mine is made in May and Kevin's is made in June. So if anything, his is the newer version. I've never seen it askew like this. So I wonder if I don't know. But the big difference, aside from his having a tie handle with the lines and a carbon fiber inlay and mine having a completely, that's beautiful, carbon fiber front, is going to be this. Okay, that felt great. Oh, yep, that's right. This one is a Sheepsfoot blade. And because of what I'm like as a person, I just freaking love Sheepsfoot blades. They both have that same hand-rubbed finish. And I said in the unboxing for this that the hand-rub finish is not my favorite finish in the world because I tend to go for a user finish. And this is kind of the exact opposite of a user finish. It is a luxury finish, but oh boy, is it gorgeous. And you know what? This feels like one of those situations where you should just embrace how freaking pretty it is. Okay, what's the... See, the thing about these knives, oh my God, they're so freaking smooth. I swear, of all of the knives I've held that feel glassy, I've never felt anything like this before. These things are just so, like, you literally cannot tell that something is sliding along something else. And this presumably has the stock bearings in it. Kevin is just bonkers about bearings and went through, and I forget already what he said is in this. Something. Well, he tried all of the ones, Skiff, Delrins, and everything. The big thing, and so this one apparently has, I would imagine, the stock bearings in it. And so it'll be fun to play with these side by side and see if there is a meaningful difference in the action. I don't know how much I can attribute that to just it being a different knife. The blade shape can be subtly different in terms of weight distribution for how it falls. But in terms of smoothness, even the stock bearings are still absurdly smooth. And the reality is the majority of that smoothness is going to come from the finishing of the blade where the detent ball runs and the finishing of the detent ball itself, because he must be like flattening this. I don't think there's going to be enough light in there. The one thing that I am super curious to find out, you'll notice that this blade shape means that there is, what is the... Oh, it definitely makes a different closing noise. Listen to that. Oh, it's so much higher pitched. Versus... So the thing I'm curious about is this one is super easy to reverse flick. And basically the way I'm doing that is holding the knife here, kind of pinching this with my finger against here to anchor in the back, and putting my finger along the blade. That's really awkward to hold my hand like that. I'm putting my finger along the blade and using the fact that I can fit my finger below this grind line here to apply pressure and flick it out. And it's really, really, really easy to do. But you'll notice that this blade comes up lower, like the grind itself ends lower, because the Sheepsfoot design, he has a flat that runs along the top. One thing I will say is that the satin finish makes it a little bit hard to get my camera to focus on this because there's like not clean lines. There we go. That's a little bit easier. Anyway, there is a flat along the top and this chamfer. And so I don't know how well I'll be able to reach in here. Yes! Yes! Oh, that makes me so happy. I was a little bit nervous about that. I was worried. And no, it's so easy still. Yes! Oh. Yes. Yes. Okay. Whew. Okay, so I am so excited about this. I didn't know it was going to be the red fat carbon, and that is a really nice surprise. I didn't know it was going to be so easy to flick. That is a really nice surprise. Oh, I love it. I love the way this blade shape looks. I'm going to be really interested to see how thin this is, because these both have, this one has really obviously a hollow grind, and the grind on this thing is freaking insane. This gets, I think I was measuring 12 thousandths. I'll have to measure it again. But this just thins out super fast, and as a result, this is crazy thin behind the edge and just really, really slicey. And this being a shorter grind means that even if he's doing a hollow grind here, and it looks like it is a hollow grind, yes, it just probably doesn't get quite as thin. And when I feel it, especially up here, it's not going to be quite as thin. Oh man, I freaking love the way this looks. Oh, this is so good. So I'm going to be really curious how these compare in terms of slicing. I'm not going to slice through anything super crazy with Kevin's. I know he uses his knives, and I know that this is something he uses, but especially because of how easily you can get marks on hand rubbed satin finishes, I'm probably not going to push this through anything other than like mild cardboard. But I will try to push it through cardboard of comparable hardness on each and get a sense of whether or not the blade shape makes a meaningful impact. Yes, on whether or not it's slicey. How does this fit? So let's, okay, another thing is I went ahead and bought an LEXK, and I used to think that I would go for just the EXK because I like smaller knives. But when I looked at this is a 3.25, something like that, inch blade. And that's actually one of my sweet spots. I tend to really like 3 to 3.25 inch blades. And I love smaller than 3 inch blades too. I really like small knives. I just do. But when I looked, the EXK is actually even smaller than I thought it was. Let me pull that up real quick. Yeah. I was thinking that the EXK was going to be 3 inch and the LEXK was 3.25, or maybe I thought it was like 2.9 or something. It's actually 2.75. And so that's a reasonably small knife. And given that these things cost so much, I know size of knife is not what like it directly indicates price and value and everything like that. But it does feel a little bit worse when you spend a ton of money on a tiny knife, if you feel like you're getting something more. But the more that I've held this, because I played this for a single day before I bought this, but now it's been several days since then because it had to come in the mail. And the more I've held it in hand, the more I really, really like this size. I think I have... I have like on the smaller side of medium-sized gloves. Like I'm the opposite of Jake from Bearded Gear. I wear medium-sized gloves, but I fill them out real poorly. And I would say that this fits my hand really, really well still. I feel like I don't feel like I have too much room. I feel like I have plenty of room. I can spread out. I can hold it in different grips. One thing that I've been really loving about these is that this is all so smooth right here. And the fact that this curves down like that means that when this is in your pocket, it's so easy to put your hand in and out of your pocket because there's this like kind of delightful ramp, and it's so well finished and so smooth that it carries so wonderfully. I'm super curious about that pocket clip. Okay. Okay. Probably need to end this here. I gotta say, I am very, very pleased. I'm very excited. I'm surprised in ways that I wasn't even expecting to be surprised. And I love it. Okay, end it there. Catch you next time. Super quick follow on. So all I did was loosen these screws, and you can see, here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So you can see that there is a little like channel in there that makes this not be able to move much. But you can see that it does have this flex. And I've never seen these at any angle other than straight forward. And so I suspect that all that has happened is that this got loose at some time and someone screwed it on different. You could even argue that you would want it over here. And an argument for why you would want it over here is that if you have your pocket clip canted slightly to the side, then when it's in your pocket, it gives it a more inclination to lean backward into your pocket and kind of go off to the side and get out of your way. I'm not super worried about that on this knife because this, as a front flipper, there's no like pocket pecking kind of thing to begin with, and the knife kind of naturally curves in. And so as a result, this fits really, really well in your pocket without any kind of canting. And so I think I'm just going to screw this back down facing the direction that I've always seen these. And with that puts the pocket clip attachment point right at the edge of the scale, which means it's not on the lock bar at all. And now it's back to looking like the direction you would expect, the way I've always seen it on these knives. Whew. Okay, actual goodbye. Have a nice day. I'll catch you next time.